performance for the PS5 is 60 FPS at 1440p, whereas on the Series X, the performance mode is 120 frames per second at 1440p. Image quality on the PS5 and the Series X are both 60 FPS at 4K. So you might wonder to yourself, why would someone choose performance mode? In image quality mode, both systems target the native 4K resolution and deliver 60 FPS gameplay. However, replays and cutscenes will be locked to 30 FPS like in previous Madden games. In performance mode, however, the PS5 version, along with the Series X, have that 60 FPS during cutscenes and replays. The only drawback of performance mode is the lower resolution, which is likely around 1440p upscaled to 4K. But performance mode, as per this article, seems to be the better choice of the two, especially if you're playing Madden 22 on a Series X and have a 120Hz compatible TV. The game feels butter smooth at 120, and cutscenes don't look as choppy running at 60 FPS. Overall, the presentation is vastly improved by the increased frame rate. I personally will argue, as someone who's got like a 266Hz monitor or something really wonky, I've gamed at like 244 or over 200Hz. I find that's usually a bigger deal when you're doing competitive gaming, like first-person shooters, which I don't do, where every nanosecond counts, like if you're both, clicking the right mouse button to scope and shoot, or something like that. If a guy's like playing at 30 FPS versus a guy on like a 244Hz TV, it's the input lag that drastically gets reduced as you go over 60. It's not necessarily that you will notice on your end the gameplay being smoother. Everybody's different. It's like comparing 30 to 60 FPS gaming. The difference is there. You can notice it. I can still game at 30. Like, it's still doable as long as it's a rock-solid 30 FPS. However, like, look at Red Dead Redemption 2 on console. That shit runs at 30 FPS. But I also played it on PC at 60 FPS and was like, okay. Still nice. And the difference is there. However, now going from 60 to 120, not as big. It's like 1080p, I've said this before, versus 4K. I'm not saying the 4K doesn't look better. What I will say is this. Hold on to your seats. Most people that compare 1080p to 4K are doing an unfair comparison because they're comparing 1080p non-HDR with 4K HDR. A lot of TVs that are 4K have HDR, and if your game supports HDR, that shit is not an opinion, it's a fact. HDR is a much bigger upgrade visually than just going from straight 1080p non-HDR to 4K non-HDR. I've actually seen a rare LG television that was 720p with HDR, and I compared it to a 4K TV and turned off the HDR. Yeah, you would be surprised. Yes, it was obviously a little bit more grainy, but the overall wow factor with your eyes in terms of the eye candy, I preferred the 720p with HDR. Everybody's always like, 4K, 4K. Hey man, is it 4K? Just a fucking 4K? How about HDR? I'm just saying, people underappreciate how impactful HDR is. Notice how I went on a little bit of a rant there, but at least I got right into the main point of the video right at the beginning. I didn't even say, hello, welcome to the channel, let's get right into it. Make sure you smash that like button and fucking subscribe and turn on notifications and all that fucking bullshit. Yeah, exactly. Anyhow, if you liked the video, you could go ahead and give it a thumbs up, as it does help the algorithm in making my channel a bit more relevant in the search results when people are looking shit up online. And if you didn't like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs down. And I'll make sure for the rest of your life you see in 30 FPS in your left eye with HDR and 120 Hz in the right eye with no HDR. Don't even ask me what the hell that's supposed to mean. And if you want to subscribe, and you can actually find, the button after your vision goes all weird, that would be great. But if not, thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care. Don't tell your friends about this video. This is what happens when you're on a lack of sleep. And maybe I'll see some of you in the next video. Bye for now.